No judgment. We're just here to help. What does this comment mean? And something that can be somewhat simple sounding, but can be very complex. We know at the Bianchi Law Group, as a criminal defense firm, and we knew when we were prosecutors, the collateral consequences and difficulties that people who are being investigated or charged with crimes go through. It's daunting. It's overwhelming. In fact, I think the best prosecutors were previously defense lawyers, like I was at a certain point in time. So you can see not only how the defense operates, but really the difficulty or the weight of the criminal justice system has on an individual. Just the fear of being charged, reputational damage, losing your job, going to jail, remorse that you have potentially for what it is you did, fear that you'll be charged with something greater than what it was that you did, fear that you'll be charged and convicted of something you didn't do. Or even if you're being held accountable for everything that it was, it is an incredibly daunting process. And one of the things that we work very hard as a philosophy of a law firm at the Bianchi Law Group, we talk about this all the time. What's the ethos of the law firm? What's the philosophy of the law firm? When you're looking for a good criminal defense lawyer, I suggest, in addition to listening to the 9 tips on how to hire a good criminal defense lawyer, you probe to understand, how do they run their office? What are their practices, their policies, their procedures? What are their core values? Ask them that question. What are your core values? Like at the Bianchi Law Group, every one of us is going to tell you courage, compassion, and commitment. We know that because we put that ethos together, because like I learned when I was a prosecutor, if you are not setting the temperature, if you are not setting the tone, then everything underneath is going to fall apart as well. They always say that phrase, that it's true. The fish rots from the head down. Okay. So what is the firm philosophy here? Well, how about a no judgment zone? Why am I going to mention this? We pride ourselves on being a team of former prosecutors. Now, I think that that is a very important thing. Why? I like to tell people because we speak prosecutor. Okay, we know how prosecutors think, we know how prosecutors investigate cases, and we know how to dialogue with them because we know their pressure points, their concerns, their fears, and we try to do things to lessen those things to make our client more worthy of a favorable disposition if that's what we need to do. Or if not, be ready to try that case. Be ready to try that case, and you start from the day the case comes into the office. That's the way you properly prepare, and that's the way you get respect. But even before that happens, the phone has to ring and someone has to answer it. And then there's a process upon which, or there should be in a law firm, that you are moved along so that you get to the proper place you need to be and make a decision as to whether you want to hire this particular law firm. So when I say no judgment, this is really important to me because while I only hire former prosecutors, myself and my law partner, Dave Bruno, not all former prosecutors are the same. I mean, no disrespect when I say this to anybody. So please, to my former prosecutors that are out there, those who interviewed with the office and maybe didn't get through, it doesn't mean you're a bad person at all. No, but there's a critical shift that happens. I'm going to talk maybe a little bit more about this in another video. A critical shift that occurs where you're no longer representing the state of New Jersey. You are representing a human being, an individual, and it's got to be a judgment-free zone. Like I used to say when I was prosecutor, we don't judge people, we judge conduct. Very important principle, huge distinction. Prosecutors out there, I hope you listen to that. It's really important. But same thing here. I don't judge people. We are here to help you regardless of what it is you did, because we know the minute you pick up that phone, the fear that it took for you to pick up that phone, the courage that it took for you to overcome that fear to pick up the phone. And it is important not only to deliver excellent legal results, of course, but it starts with the very first contact. And that's why, as a philosophy of the Bianchi Law Group firm, we make sure that our people who answer the phones and our people who handle the calls and the lawyers that will discuss the call with you, even before you've even retained this office, treat you with courage, compassion, and commitment, because we knew how difficult it was for you to pick up that phone in the first place. So don't ever be afraid to pick up that phone, because you have to. You got to show that courage. You got to get past that. But listen to what's coming at you on the other end. Because the first point of contact and how you're being treated and the manner in which you're being treated is probably going to be a pretty good indication of the firm philosophy. And you know what? Former prosecutors have to make that critical shift where they no longer are judging the conduct, but they're judging whether or not they can help you, whether or not they understand that you're going through what you're going through, whether they're treating you with respect, whether they're listening to you, whether they're explaining things to you. Why am I mentioning that? Because I listen to it week in and week out and day in and day out, people calling us like, thank you for listening. Thank you for not judging me. Thank you for talking to me. Thank you. You've given me more information than the lawyer I've had for years given to me. Really sad to listen to this. There's nothing more important than hiring a criminal defense lawyer for your case. We are not the only firm in the state of New Jersey that can handle your case with courage, compassion, and commitment. Many of my colleagues strive for that. But unfortunately, be careful that you're not with this great marketer and somebody who's taking a case and it's kind of like a factory, kind of like a mill. You should listen carefully in the beginning or view carefully in the beginning about how you're being treated, the manner in which the firm is operating, because this is showing you their competencies, their vision, their attentiveness. Okay, so listen, at the Bianchi Law Group, at a minimum, our team of former prosecutors, I hire specifically, Dave and myself hire specifically, personality first. What are your goals? What are your ambitions for the client? Will you handle that client regardless of whatever it is they're charged with, however bad it is, with dignity, respect, courage, compassion, and commitment? And if we're convinced that that person could do that, then we start asking questions about how good a lawyer you are. Okay, listen, I hope you found the video. I think it could be one of maybe the most important videos because in addition to remaining solid, hiring the best lawyer you can afford is really the most important thing that you can do in order to get the best result possible in your case. And I think it starts with a no judgment zone. Thanks for listening.